podcast by the Intergalactic Improv Initiative.
Dangerous Dangers, Episode 9, 20 Questions About the Ship, featuring the voices of Alanya Campbell, Amanda Cotter, Maria Damianou, Leah Lawson, Dan Spitaliere, and creator, Kaya Renwick. If you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat. Just get on. I should roll. Last time on Dangerous Dangers, after the interpersonal clusterfuck that was the last episode, the crew of the Corsica finally get to actually check out their new ship. It's very pretty.
January 19th, 2189, Terran Universal Coordinated Calendar. The Citadel, Widow System, Serpent Nebula, MSV Corsica.
Hey, after Clous has declared let's mosey, you all enter the Corsica, and we will start with an introduction to the ship, as we have not yet had that introduction on the podcast so far. So the Corsica is a dual nacelle thruster ship, so it's a little bit like it's sort of like the Normandy in style, but this is very clearly a luxury yacht where the Normandy is a stealth ship. You guys are entering on the main deck. You come in the main hatch into a very large, open concept common area. It's like a really big living room. There's big couches, like those big fancy circular couches sort of scattered around. This is like the furthest thing from a military ship you can imagine. This is essentially a miniature cruise ship. From here, you can get into the cockpit. So you guys would have come here to drop your luggage off and pick cabins earlier. And so you know that so you're entering on the starboard side of the ship, about midway up. And so on the port side, about the port third of that section is ostensibly the common, washing area. Also, it very much resembles sort of a spa. There's a lot of open, bathtub sort of thing in various sizes, some of which are very large. And all of the showers are these little pod things that you step into, and then they kind of twist around you, with clear glass on them. This is a very open sort of ship. So that's the front half of the ship. The back half of the main deck, as you cross through, so there's two elevators, one with a door pointing into the common area and then one pointing into the back half of the ship, and a door between them to go into the back half of the ship. Much like the Normandy style, where you can see the drive core, the makers of the ship possibly attempting to emulate that. You have left the drive core in its clear casing, so you have this huge ball of electrified element 0 sort of roiling in the center. And there are 4 cabins in the back half of this ship, some of which have been spoken for. On the lower level, underneath those cabins, that's engineering, where all of the guts of the ship are, very catch-all term. And then in the front half of the lower deck, there is a large cargo area on the port side of the ship, a very small observation deck, transparent steel bottom so you can see out into space. And then the starboard half of the lower deck is the galley and mess, sort of very amidships, very central. And then 6 smaller rooms off of hallways, all set up to be cabins, except for one which is a shower block. And these cabins are much smaller than the ones on the upper floor, so you would get the idea that the upper deck cabins are passenger cabins, and the lower deck cabins would have been staff cabins. So yeah, and all of everything in here is very luxury, very high quality, very clean. Obviously, Rolly's crew cleaned it out very well before putting it on the shipyard. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a gorgeous ship. Yeah, that's everything that you see, at the very least, walked through, and you know what your ship looks like. What are you guys doing now? I suppose I should say, Vraga, upon entering the ship, immediately bids you all adieu and stumps off to her cabin for some good old Krogan alone time, and leaves the rest of you in the common room. Says that she'll try to wake her when you guys get to Ilium, but if she doesn't wake up, it's not a big deal. She'll come out later.
Clous calls after her and says, aggressively supportive, have a good nap.
I'm hanging a right. I'm headed towards the cockpit.
All right, you find it's a very, very standard cockpit. Nothing too special. What are you doing?
I'm gonna glance over the controls, and I am just trying to suss out where the autopilot is. I go to sit down, but not in the usual way. I kind of just, from behind, I kind of sling one leg over the chair and drop into it.
You're doing the Riker?
I'm doing the Riker.
I would like an investigation roll, please, to see how quickly you can familiarize yourself with this console.
Dexterity check for the Riker.
Actually, how tall is Athena?
Say, that's what I expected.
Really?
Yeah, dex check, please. That's a pretty big chair. Acrobatics. I'm going to say acrobatics in this case, because I know Athena's decent at acrobatics.
Fair enough. Okay. Acrobatics? Okay. 22.
Okay, yes, you do manage it. You have Rikered many a chair in your time, and this is no different. God, I can't believe this is canon now. Okay, all right. Investigation roll, please, for the console.
A little flourish at the end.
Okay. 12, 5, 17.
Okay. It's a standard console. It doesn't take you very long at all to find the galaxy map equivalent in the autopilot, and you can tell it to make a course for Ilium. That'll be 2 relay jumps from the Serpent Nebula to the Eagle Nebula to the Crescent Nebula, and to the Tasale system is where you're headed. And so you have to, in order to autopilot with relay jumps, You also need fuel. I can't remember if anybody got fuel. I think Jesse might have. Jesse did? Okay.
Jesse did.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys are fueled up. Yeah, you will. If you want to autopilot through relays, you are going to have to submit flight plans first to Citadel Control to access the Widow System relay, and then send ahead for the Eagle Nebula relay, and then a receiving flight plan for the Crescent Nebula relay and the Ilium Nosastra spaceport docking. So you can automate all of that if you so wish.
Damn it. So much for stealth.
It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, we don't think about these things when we play the games. Shepard just picks a destination and we go. But that's not how the galaxy actually works.
Can I half program it? Can I program it to go to the first relay, and then if someone else wants to fly the rest of the way, we can take over?
Yeah, you can choose to do however much you want. It's going to take you're probably going to have to wait in line for about an hour to get through the Widow System relay. And then from the Widow to the Eagle, so you're going to hop from the Widow System to the Eagle Nebula, to the Emir System. And then you'll basically go from the Emir System relay to the Tasale System relay. And so you can, you'll come out in Emir and have to re-queue to get back through to go on to Tasale. And so that process will probably take an hour a piece-ish, depending on how busy traffic is, and how much you want to bribe the people who decide where you are in the queue. And then it'll be roughly 12 to 13 hours based on the astronav simulations you have right now of where the Tasale system relay is in relation to Ilium. It'll take you at that much at, a reasonable sublight speed to get to Ilium.
All right, so I think what I'll do is I'll program it to do maybe 3/4 of the trip or get to the second lot of relay, just so that the people leaving don't know where we're going. But then later I might jump in and complete the path, input it. That makes sense?
Are you trying to get yourself ahead in either relay queue? Or are you content to wait in line?
I'd probably get ahead in the second one.
Okay. Are you calming ahead to set that up, or are you going to pause in an hour and contact whoever needs to be contacted in the Emir system?
I think she's still a little rattled, so I might do it later.
Okay. All right. So you set up, you file your flight plan with Citadel Control. They okay you to take your spot in the Widow system relay queue. And the Corsica, the drive core spools up. You guys feel the hum go through the ship as the drive core engages fully, and the thrusters fire out, and you guys glide out of the dock in Zakara Ward, and you head for the relay queue. There are quite a few viewports on this ship, and big walls of them too. Like, it's not like a little window, and so you guys can see the Citadel going by as Athena sets the autopilot up to take you into the queue. Okay, what's everybody else doing?
Solace will settle. They'll go to the galley, and with the mint that I think this is a while ago, but when Clous gave them the mint, like months ago, I guess in real time for us, they'll try to see. I don't know if there's no little what do they call it? It's a garden,
like a hydroponics bay.
Yeah, that's what they call it. Yeah, I don't think we have that.
There isn't one right now, but this ship does have a hell of a lot more water storage than your average starship. And so you could certainly invest in some hydroponics equipment. That would be easy to buy on Ilium, I'm sure.
All right. But for now, I don't know if I can put it like the mint in like a little...
I'm sure you could put it in a little bit of water. You know, just keep it fresh, yeah?
And I'll keep it like they'll keep it in the galley mess hall. And they're just going to be settling in. I know that we bought rations or other kind of food. And I think we got like I think Solace got like a big lobster thing for Vraga. So they'll cook that. They'll begin prepping that and cooking that. So they're just going to be in the kitchen.
Yeah, sure. I would like you to pick a skill of your choice and give me a role that you think is appropriate for that. Maybe performance, might be performance.
All right.
Just to see how that goes.
Solace in general is not a very overly expressive kind of being, except they're in the kitchen. So just like when they were working on at the stand, I think that's what it was called, for the ramen shop, they were kind of being, I think like a very, very very expressive, like hibachi chef, like chopping stuff up and kind of stirring stuff, and then they'll have that same kind of flair and kind of dramatics while they're cooking. So I will use performance. That I have a +4.
Love that. Okay.
That's 17.
Fantastic. Yeah, so you settle in real nice. It's a nice kitchen. Like, so this is a luxury yacht, and it has a luxurious kitchen. There is everything you could possibly want here. Whoever was last working as a chef, they kitted it out nice, and apparently they didn't take any of it with them. So yeah, you are quite happily ensconced in the galley, working on this terrifying lobster thing, which God only knows might be related to you. But you have no fear. You subdue that sucker. And yeah, you are cooking up a storm. Okay, who else? Who's next?
I think Jesse's is really simple, so I'll jump in. Solace would actually see Jesse like come down the elevator based on the like illustration we're using and walk past the galley, and I think it would be like they would pause kind of by the doorway to engineering before heading over to his room. Yeah, I think he's not even really like he's just quickly going over there, and shortly thereafter you would start hearing some kind of like hard rock metal kind of music take over the room and just like create just a noisy atmosphere for the room where I guess I don't actually know how noisy like a spaceship is, you know?
In Mass Effect, drive cores are usually pretty quiet. And so if you think about the standard ambiance of the Normandy, it's pretty chill unless you're right by the drive core, and then you get that loud hum.
Right.
And I will say that especially the walls on the bulkheads on the main deck are quite thick. The cabins in the back half of the upper deck in particular are quite soundproof. A little bit less so on the lower deck, but you're not. So the sound is not going to carry from the lower deck to the upper deck. But I will say that probably Solace can hear. Solace would hear the music on like a couple of levels.
Yeah.
Oh my god, what a trip.
Yeah. But I think like it's not. They're good quality bulkheads. It's not like they're paper thin. We're not talking a Quarian ship here.
Yeah. At least when the door opens. I think there's like some pacing by Jesse back and forth as he seems a little bit of like, where do I go? Fine, I'll go to my cabin, and then head to the cabin and just close the door as like immediately music starts to flood out the room before it quiets down again when the door closes.
All right. Clous and Nyx. And or.
Okay, I'll go. So I think Nyx is blown away by this luxury. She's more interested in what Athena does in her line of work. She takes a moment to just walk down the halls and kind of brush against the walls, feeling the texture of the hall. And she just starts walking through different rooms, just wants to get the lay of the land, see if she can find out more about Athena, because at this point she really doesn't know how long Athena's had this ship for.
Okay. Do you want to do investigation on on the ship itself, on stuff, or like perception, insight? Are you hunting down Athena and staring at her awkwardly? What's the plan?
Yes, do that.
I will say I would have left the cockpit, like I would have thrown the autopilot on and then just moseyed on somewhere else. So maybe.
Okay, where are you? I would imagine doing all that probably took you 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
To file the requisite stuff and make sure it's all working and blah blah blah. Have you gone to your cabin? Are you hanging out in the common room, checking out the spa, sitting in the cockpit looking at the surveillance footage?
Later. I'm actually down in observation on the lower level because just enjoys watching stars.
Okay, cool. Right now you see a whole lot of purple nebula. Okay, go ahead, Nyx. What are you wanting to find out?
One, I want to see how big my room is, and I also want to know where the gym is. Is there a gym? For the love of the goddess.
Did you pick a cabin? I can't recall.
Yes. We picked, well, I was confused with the layout, but we were assigned the cabin, I believe looking down at this, the lower left cabin in the drive core, or above.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're on the main level. You're on the stern port side cabin.
Correct.
Okay. So you get in there and it's beautiful. It's far fancier than anything you've probably ever lived in. And it has an ensuite bathroom. So the whole back is like a window wall that you quickly find you can shutter at will. You've got controls for that. And that little hallway to the back, that's your ensuite bathroom. It's got a gorgeous, you know how we say spaceship showers, except this is an actual spaceship shower. You've got the fancy shower heads and all that shit. And the bed is we're talking queen size beds here, and they're comfy. Don't worry, Clous, you get a king size bed. But these back cabins are a tiny bit smaller than the other ones. But yeah, it's plush, it's comfy. There's a bookshelf that doesn't have anything on it at the moment. It's very nice.
This is giving me Love Boat vibes.
God.
Maybe her side hustle is romantic cruise ships. Yeah, romantic cruises.
Is Nyx gonna do a lounge act for us?
Jeez.
Play into that Asari stereotype a little bit.
So Nyx is just gonna take a moment to just have some deep breaths, just this is really not her forte, but she could get used to this, I think, a little bit. And then she's just going to take a moment to just decompress a little bit, pop in some headphones, and just take a wander around the ship and find that gym or spa or...
Okay. There doesn't appear to be an actual, like, there's no gym here specifically. There are open spaces where you could weight train or resistance train. Like, the cargo bay is wide open. You guys didn't bring enough cargo to, like, take up a whole bunch of space in the cargo bay. So you could easily set up something there. I don't believe all of the cabins on the lower level are spoken for either, and I'm fairly certain that at least the other 2 humanoids in the crew would probably be interested in having some, like, weight training stuff or whatever. So I'm sure if you wanted to set something up in one of those cabins, you probably could. But the spa is gorgeous. So, you end up, I don't know if you end up there or you end up just wandering around the ship.
Definitely get there, because she needs a shower. It's been a long day.
All right. I think we will leave Nyx encountering one of the weird twisty pod showers, and we'll check in with Clous.
Okay, so Clous enters her room, and I anticipate it's very similar to what Nyx's room looked like, given that for the listeners at home, Clous's room sort of looks flip-flopped, just like mirrored.
Yes, Clous's room is the starboard side of the stern cabins. Yeah. Yes.
So Clous would like to unpack the few things that she brought with her, just like kind of like feel at home as much as she can in that space. So she's gonna unroll her posters, and she's gonna hang in there cat poster over, like, I presume in this area. I'm gonna try to just like set the scene a little bit. So we've got Clous's big king-size bed that we've established. We probably have like a dresser, a desk type area, and then like off into like the bathroom over.
Yeah, I would say probably everything's sort of in alcoves, and so you've got.
Ooh.
And honestly, given the size, it might be a Murphy bed, like a king-size Murphy bed.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And then I'd say that there is sort of a little desk area. It's probably in a little alcove. Like any of storage is definitely built into the bulkheads.
Great. Okay. Perfect. She doesn't have that much. It's really mostly her posters, her guns, and she has like a little stuffed Batarian doll that she carries around with her. So she is going to go to the pod that has the little like desk area in it, and that's where she's going to hang in their cat poster. And then across from her bed, or where it like flops out to, she's going to put up the Inspector Clouseau Pink Panther poster, and then she's going to leave. Given it's a Murphy bed, she's not going to pull it down just yet, but on the little like nightstand or whatever like surface is next to the bed, she's going to put her little Batarian stuffy down. She's going to, before she puts it down, she's going to bring it to her head, and she's going to say, "Affectionate bonk," and bonk it, and then put it down on the little nightstand area.
Adorable.
I have one other question.
Yes.
Is there like any, because there's a common area, is there like vid screen type things like
TVs?
Could we like put a movie on type thing?
Sure. I would say there are probably like some vid screens sort of attached to the bulkheads, and you could probably, as you're poking around with things, there's probably like some that come down out of the ceiling and stuff like this. If you can name a bell or whistle, and the ship probably has it.
Hell yeah.
As long as it's like fancy shit, not useful shit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Recreational vehicle.
TV in the spa.
Oh, there's absolutely vid screens in the spa. 100%. 100%.
Oh my god.
Okay, does it feel safe to say that folks are going to spend the first hour or so just decompressing after that hellaciously packed day that was most of January 19th?
Oh, it is January 19th. I thought I should mention that in Australia. It's January 19th, and I'm just having a really meta moment.
Oh my
Yes.
god, how wild.
Leah is recording like 165 years behind where this is happening in the
traveler,
in the
I told you.
Oh,
podcast.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It'll take about an hour for you guys to get to the Widow System relay. You know, does anybody immediately want to go and find people, or do we want to all just take a few minutes to chill?
I probably head back to my room because Athena's back is that incident in the corridors. Her back is burning. It feels like it's on fire, and she needs to find a way to displace it. It's remembered pain. I think when she gets into her room, she sets down that very illegal M11 Wraith that she lifted from the safe house and strips off completely. Rings, necklaces, everything. Jumps into the ensuite shower and throws her hair up in a messy bun, puts the shower cap on, and then takes quite a few minutes before she's comfortable to turn herself away from the shower head and have the water cascade down her back. It kind of feels like electricity at first, where it's aiming, but eventually she can handle it. The pain washes away. She's comfortable, and then once she gets out of the shower, more centered, quietly anyway, she will shoot off a very long ramble to Kiara.
Okay. Does anybody else want to do anything before we hit the Widow System relay?
I have a question about I guess this is a bit of like a world building moment, but
Yeah, sure.
does everyone just have like always access to the extranet through their Omni tool, or do like ships need to have a terminal or something like that?
So yes and no. You would always be the way the extranet works is all data packets. And so you can, if you are in a system where you do not have direct comm buoy access, then you are basically, whatever you are searching for gets pinged to a comm buoy, and it's going to have to go to a certain number of comm buoys before it gets the information you want and then gets back to you. So in a place like the Citadel, that's instantaneous, as long as you have an extranet connection, which you would have on your Omni tool. Yes, absolutely. And in all, major centers, major population centers and major systems, relay systems, your ping time is going to be pretty low. You're going to not have any trouble getting what you want. But if you are in FTL travel, or if you are in outer systems, so if you're in FTL travel, you have what is on your ship's database and what is on your Omni tool. You do not have outer extranet access, because that's not how data transfer works. And if you're in outer systems, then that ping time is going to be longer. It may also be throttled. It may be throttled based on how privileged access, and that occurs even in places like the Citadel. So if a Citadel counselor requests a data burst, that's going to get prioritized. If you are Jack Nobody on Bachdret Ward, and for some reason, Shepard saving the universe again or something, and all the extranet traffic gets redirected, your Google query for where to get dim sum is not going to go through anytime soon. So yes and no. So while you guys are in the Widow system waiting for the queue, you can download whatever you want, access whatever you want. I imagine that in these situations, and you're an N7 Marine, so you have you have a certain level of privileged access. Yeah, so I'm not gonna make you guys think about how much data you're using.
Thank God.
For your Mass Effect cell
Unlimited,
phones.
baby.
This is an AT&T.
I just wasn't sure if it was like, it's on my Omni tool, like a cell phone type thing, or if it's just like.
I mean, I would say that so if you wanted to access the ship's database, there would be consoles around, and so that would be something like if you need it, that you wouldn't then have to query from your Omni tool. It would just be ready for you there. But that's a difference of like 30 seconds. When you're in system. But that is the sort of thing that if you guys are looking things up when you are in FTL travel, or if you are in outer systems, I will be keeping track of that.
Cool. So I think for Jesse, the first thing he does settling down with like music blaring is just starts like scrubbing the extranet. At first it's just kind of like anything, just like local news, weather, like just random information to pick up, as if like he's trying to fill the noise visually as well as audibly.
Would you like a news clip?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Okay. You can have a news clip.
Oh!
Oh my god.
You guys...
Oh, it's like
it's
in the chat.
Yeah, you guys can have a news clip.
Jonah Ashland of Eldfell Ashland Energy has announced the second annual pledge drive in support of his foundation, the Aishwarya Ashland Foundation for Memory Research. Jonah and his granddaughter have been vocal about Aishwarya's experience with memory loss after the Reaper War, which has empowered other victims to come forward and receive treatment. Speaking with reporters earlier today at his estate, Ashland shared the week-long schedule of live broadcasts featuring public figures from across the galaxy.
I love that.
Whoa!
Cool.
Little bit of fun.
I can't believe you were prepared for that.
I can.
oh, baby. Just you wait till we get to Ilium.
That was good.
What else are you up to, Jesse? If anything.
Yeah, so I it's like two things that would kind of evolve from that. First, it would just be kind of just like noise.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would start to like be thinking about everything that's going on, and he would just start like, I think honestly at first it seems like silly, but like he'd probably just be doing like Google searches for everyone in his party.
That's not silly.
Just like what public information is out there.
Smart.
And then I don't know if he's even like pushing into like N7 access type stuff yet. He's just like seeing like what's publicly available out there, and then would probably move on to linking up with the ship to see what kind of data, if any, was left over from the previous
I will say that does anybody have extranet social media profiles? If Jesse is Googling your names,
What comes up?
what does he find?
Burner fake accounts. Fake
I mean,
IG.
If it's under
Yeah.
an alias, though, like how do you know?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, if he is only going to be able to search the names that he knows, and so this may be like, I don't think he's going to find anything about Solace somehow. I suspect, although perhaps Solace has explored the extranet social media. I don't know. What does Solace think about that?
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Is there when Solace first comes to the Citadel, they were also looking for a job. So I don't know is there like a Mass Effect LinkedIn version?
Yeah.
Or like some Indeed thing. I'm assuming. I don't know what would it be called. But that would probably be the only thing that they see that I guess it will have that they put down some odd jobs before their longest one being the stand, working as like a ramen chef or a chef, yeah.
I fucking love that Citadel version of LinkedIn.
What would it be called, do you think? I don't know.
No, it's perfect.
No, I mean, I don't know what it would be called, but that's absolutely gotta be a thing that exists. Like, there's no way that doesn't exist. What does Jesse find on Clous?
So Jesse finds Clous' website. Clous absolutely has to have a website for her detective agency because you simply can't get enough foot traffic on the Citadel where she was stationed in that janitorial closet. So Clous' website is Clous, Clues, by BY, Clous, CLOUS.DE.
Oh.
Which she thought was just like really cool because it's like, oh my god, yeah, that's like detective agency. So it's a .de domain.
Like Denmark or something?
Yeah.
It would
in real life.
I don't know what exactly the DE would stand for in this case, but it's probably cluesbyclues.da.citadel.
Okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, she's got her own website. When you go to it, it's this like big picture of her in her hat, like photoshopped with like a magnifying glass. And It's very 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, like GeoCities style website. She couldn't afford to hire a developer, so she watched a couple of old extranet videos on how to set up a website. So like you've got like a little clicker that's actually just like a version of her hat cut out that you can like move her hat around the page, and that is yeah. So that's what he finds.
I adore that you have given this thought.
So much thought and clues. And there's also a little like contact form. There's a contact form on there for people to reach out if they have any questions or would like to hire her for anything. There are no rates because she doesn't know what she should get paid for this. And there are also no reviews yet. But she's hoping for one soon.
I was going to say, are there any testimonials? What does Jesse find if he searches for Athena?
No social media profiles, because obviously they're all faux profiles. Different names so she can sticky beak on people. And Marco's probably cleaning up any references to her, or making false accounts, perhaps. Yeah, that's actually quite a reality. But mainly Jesse would find more reference to her parents. So Imogen and Theodore Hellier, both diplomats for the Systems Alliance. Pretty prevalent. Quite an extensive history. What's not redacted anyway. But most of it is public. Those records would have ended quite a while ago. The latest record, probably 2182.
Is there an obituary for Imogen?
They never officially confirmed.
Understood. And what does Jesse find? I'm going to assume that either Vraga's... I feel like Jesse Googles Vraga and gets like a warning that domains from Tuchanka are not to be trusted or something like that, because I don't want to say whether or not Vraga has something, because that's not my call. And Tiff is unfortunately not here. So we'll say that that's a thing, and we'll file that away for later. And what does Jesse find if he Googles Nyx?
Supposedly, there is an account called AquaThick88. That's AQUATHICC 88. And it's just kind of like close-up shots with side butt, but a little bit of the background.
Dear listeners, I wish you could see Dan's face right now.
He's actually writing this down.
Oh yes, he's taking copious notes.
I take notes, yeah. It just says the screen name arrow OnlyFans ?
Well, that was my question. Is this an OnlyFans? Or does this have like a professional vibe? And this is a legitimate question, because if it is a legitimate question, I'm actually going to make you do a roll.
This is photojournalism. This is art.
I love that I know what this is.
Okay. Then I need I need a history check.
Okay. 14.
Something about the ship seems familiar. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I feel like Jesse, I don't know how closely Jesse's looking at these pictures. But that's up to him. If he's looking at particular, and if he's paying attention to the background at all.
Nope.
Oh. Okay. Then we shall pop on. And I think it's Athena, as you're getting out of the shower, you realize that you guys are getting quite close to the relay. As in, like, you are about to go through it. And you guys have all done relay travel before. And so there's this pull at the pit of your stomach as the Corsica is caught in the giant Mass Effect field of the mass relay. And there's this moment of everything kind of freezing, and then the very brief sensation of being sucked through a straw. And then everything snaps back into position, and you guys are now in the Ymir system in the Eagle Nebula. with one more relay jump to go before you are in the Tasale system in the Crescent Nebula.
You have been listening to I Should Roll, Dangerous Dangers, Episode 9, 20 Questions About the Ship, featuring the voices of Alanya Campbell as Solace-Within-Clay, Amanda Cotter as Clous, Maria Damianou as Nyxandra Lalliri, Leah Lawson as Athena Hellier, Dan Spitaliere as Jesse Westcott, and Kaya Renwick as Everyone and Everything Else. Music and sound effects are used under Creative Commons or royalty-free licenses. For the extended credits, please see the show notes. And for more information, please visit ishouldroll.com. Find us everywhere on social media at ishouldroll, and don't forget to leave us a review. I Should Roll is an Intergalactic Improv Initiative production. This fan podcast is a transformative work and is not affiliated with the Electronic Arts or BioWare. Thank you for listening. Have a pleasant day.